Hey guys, welcome back to Contest Prep University. Final episode in our series on Never Do This in Prep. I'm Joe Klemczewski with Adam Atkinson. And I teased at the end of episode 4, we're going to tell you who you should listen to in your prep. That person is you. I want my clients to trust their intuition. I want them to feel like they're an equal partner in what's happening in this whole process. And if you're listening to yourself and you're having a great conversation with a coach, if you have a coach, then I think that naturally fortifies you from allowing too much other information in from extraneous sources. Because one of the most frustrating things for me, Adam, is when client after client after client says, "Hey, what do you think about this? What do you think about this? What do you think about this?" And it's just information they're getting from TikTok or somewhere else. I'm like, and it's a source they shouldn't even be listening to. It's clearly a non-credible, non-scientific source, but because it was a cute, quippy, meme-oriented post, it got their attention.
It's interesting. Yeah, I think that clients' ears and eyes wander a lot of different places for a lot of different reasons. Uh, and if you get too many cooks in the kitchen, because there will be coaches who will give you advice when um, you're not even asking for it. I had an athlete who wasn't mine at the show this weekend ask about his tan. And I had someone going up against him in the overall. And I said, I think you're okay, but I actually want you to ask the tanners because my guy's going up against you soon. So I don't want you to think I had any ill will, just in case. So, because it was possibility they might have been a tad on the lighter side. So I didn't want to have any input on that. But yeah, I mean, I had a situation where a client had an amazing prep with me, and we had great show day communication, and she just wanted someone who was there. And I thought that was crazy because we had a great entire 24-week process, and you're going to jump ship for somebody to be there that day when they showed themselves, but you don't even know if they can get you through the whole 24-week process. So I found that interesting. And sometimes people just get decided on what they want.
Well, I mean, that's a great topic. We should do a whole series on that, on-site coaching versus not. But to your point, people do want that security, and so they're constantly looking and they're curious for something they might be missing. And I'll give you an example. I had on one of our last series episodes, somebody made a comment on YouTube, hey, I get it why you guys would want to keep water in and so forth, but I was dehydrated for my last show. I didn't drink any water the day before, and I was still fuller and more vascular than any other day in prep. So what gives? And I have to say, okay, I'm skeptical because we know muscle tissue, 65, 75% water. There's no physiological way you were fuller than any other day in prep and more vascular without water, because vascularity is water. Plasma in your bloodstream is 97% water. So I said, I'm curious, you may not have been as dehydrated as you think, or maybe you just weren't as full. So I would need to see pictures 2-3 times a day, every day for the last week minimum, so I can show you what real fullness and vascularity looks like. Because good for you on the win. Your genetics are good enough, you had enough conditioning, enough size, symmetry to pull it off. But man, I don't think you looked your best. That's the kind of thing that starts these curiosities, Adam, where somebody who just happens to look fantastic and they connect a couple of dots and say, oh, it was this and this, and it had nothing to do with it. There's no scientific validity there, but it sure looks great in a post with somebody who's genetically gifted, or for some other variable reason, had a good result when it wasn't even what you're thinking.
Mm-hmm. I had a client this weekend. We had a great post-show conversation, and she said, I drank less water for night show and I felt better. And I looked better too. I said, well, the water that you had in the morning didn't just go away. So actually you had more water than you did for prejudging. And she was like, oh my God, you're right. I never thought of it that way. But the other caveat of that conversation was she's like, I just still struggle with it. And this, I've worked with her since 2016. She's just always nervous about the water thing. And I said, I can't blame you because there's still people that do it. And the curiosity in you says, why? And I wonder if I'm doing something wrong because people are doing that no matter how much I explain it to her.
Well, and this is why I started this episode saying the person you should listen to most and trust most is you, your intuition. But that's where it starts. That's not where it ends. If your intuition, like your client, is to do less water, then try it. I would even say, do a contest. I mean, you could obviously do some dry runs, but do a contest and do it your way and just see. Because perhaps there's something that you both can learn there where maybe I don't need quite as much. And what I find in that scenario, this is a very specific anecdote to this topic, is timing is kind of everything. I don't just ad libitum say drink as much water as you want all day. It's like, let's do this, let's stay right on the schedule here so that maybe we can increase a little bit as we need to into the pump up when it's really going to be more bioavailable. But anyway, great example of why just listening to other people can really hurt you.
Absolutely.
All right, guys, hope that helped. We will see you next time with a new series in Contest Prep University.